Hello, Year 10s. Welcome to Year 10 Woodwork. Obviously, I'm away this week. This task is obviously your first assessment task. Um, and when I come back, we'll go through a couple of the other things that we'll be doing in the course. But obviously, this is the first assessment task that you guys will be doing. Um, for this task, what you will obviously be doing is creating a finger joint in Inventor and producing an orthogonal and isometric drawing of those finger joints. And then once we've done that, we're going to go down into the workshop and create those joints. And we've got to actually be thinking about what joints you guys are going to be using in your project. So this is a bit of a skills task, and it'll give you guys an opportunity to practice these joints before we have a go at making them for your project. So the first part of the project is to have a go at drawing it up in Inventor. I'm not sure how much experience you guys have in Inventor, um, but that is my job to show you guys how to use the program and for you guys to have a crack at using the program. So, like I said, in the task here, it says produce an orthogonal and isometric drawing of a finger joint, a mortise and tenon joint, and a dowel joint. This week while I'm away, your job is to produce just one finger joint. All right, and then we'll have a crack at doing the mortise and tenon joint and the dowel joint when I come back. So in Woodwork, we've got some classroom expectations. You guys can read through them at your leisure. I think by now you guys would have been in the workshop during year 8 and 9. Obviously in the workshop those same rules still apply. But yeah, we'll go through them a little bit more when I come back. So the first joint that we're going to have a go at creating and drawing up is this finger joint. Basically a finger joint, this diagram here shows what a finger joint is. Basically it's just a little notch taken out. We can do that, there's a couple of different ways we can do that. We can do it with hand tools, bandsaw, we can even use a router to route a little bit out, but basically this little diagram here shows you what a finger joint is. So like I said before, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a go at drawing these up in Inventor. So in Inventor here, this is part one of the finger joint. Obviously, we've got two different pieces for our finger joint. We've got part one here with this notch here taken out, and part two is this one here. So obviously, it's got this section here out and those two bits slot together. So to begin, obviously in Inventor is the big eye on your desktop, which looks like where my mouse is hovering around there. So that is Inventor. We need to open that one up. So to begin, you need to go to File and New, and then this box here will appear. In Inventor, yours might start off looking like this. You need to make sure that you've got this metric tab here open, and we need to be working in millimeters. So in Inventor, we've got part files, assembly files, and drawing files. What we're going to do to begin with is we're going to start by doing a part file, and then later on we're going to put that into a drawing. So to begin with, click standard millimeters, and then create. All right. Now, once we are in here, all right, we need to start a new sketch. So basically go start 2D sketch. This will appear. This is just your XY plane, YZ plane, and XZ plane. These just indicate what view you're going to be sketching on. So that's going to be a top, front, and side, basically. That's what that means. So we're going to do a sketch from the top. So basically, if you select XZ plane, and that little square around it should go white, like mine is now. So hit XZ plane, and then you're going to be taken into this sketching section of Inventor. So all up here, these are all sketching tools, and we need to draw in a rectangle. So basically, up here we've got line tools, circle tools, arc tools, rectangle tool. We're going to select rectangle tool. So in Inventor, before you select it, it goes blue. and then it goes blue as you select it. Now what I want you to do after you've selected that rectangle tool is I want you guys to, that yellow dot in the middle of the screen there, that is your origin. Alright, so as I put my mouse over that origin, it goes green. I want you to hit that dot and make sure that you're selecting on that origin. So once you've done that, we're going to bring our mouse down here somewhere, and we can dimension that afterwards. So I've just drawn in a very, very rough rectangle. Obviously that's not dimensioned, but we want to dimension that to size. So to do that, obviously dimension tool, hit dimension, and now we can put our dimensions in. Now we're going to change this. So if you select this vertical line here and bring your mouse out here somewhere and click again, and then you can pop in a dimension of 70. Now the reason why I'm putting 70 in is we're going to make our finger joints out of 70mm material. So make sure that's 70, and then this horizontal line here, we're going to make that to 150 and pop in enter. So now we've got a rectangle 70 by 150, and that's what we're going to be cutting out our pine to, 70 by 150. Once you've done that, hit finish sketch, and basically that's going to take us away from our sketching section of Inventor, and it's going to take us into 3D modeling. See our 3D modeling here selected. So once you've done that, we need to extrude our rectangle here. So you're going to hit extrude, and we're going to be using 19mm material. So 19, hit enter, and we've got a little block that we're going to be using for our finger joints here. So once we've got our block, basically what we need to do, we've got it 70 by 150 by 19. What we're going to do next is we're going to start sketching in our notches for our finger joints. So to do that, we're going to select the face that we're going to draw the sketch on. So I'm going to select this face here. It goes white, I click, and you've got all these options here. So you've got, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new sketch on that face. And now we are back in our sketching section of Inventor. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw a rectangle onto our block. So roughly where that notch here is going to come out. And what we're going to do is we need to work out, so this block is 70mm wide. So what we can do, if we hit dimension and we select, when we select our lines, before you click the line, it turns white. And then I want to select this line here. So that turns white and click. Bring my mouse out here. And Inventor's pretty cool because there's actually a calculator built into the program. So we want to divide this section here into 3 different parts. So what we can do is if we go 70, divide by 3 and hit enter. So it's going to be 23.33 recurring. All right, and we can do the same for this section here because that needs to be, this section here needs to be 23.33 and this section here needs to be 23.33. So if I click this line and now I click this line here, bring my mouse out here and I'm going to put 70 divided by 3, enter, we've got 23.33 recurring again. All right, so, and now this section here should be 23.33, so we shouldn't have to dimension this point here. Now we're using 19mm thick material, so this section here needs to be, we probably want a little bit of wriggle room. So if we dimension from that point here to this point here, bring that up, and we're going to change that. We probably want, yeah, like I said, a little bit of wriggle room. So if we change this to 19.5, hit enter, and we've got our little notch. So basically, this section here is the section that we're going to cut out. So like we did before, if I go over here and go finish sketch, what we need to do is now we need to take this section here out. So if we do the same process we did before, but this time we're going to cut through. So hit extrude, select the bit that we want to take out. That's going to give us a preview, and obviously this is going the wrong way. So if we go direction 2 and flip that around, make sure that this cut here is selected. Now this option here, this says distance. That'll probably go all the way through. So well, 19 mil. You can either hit distance and change it that way, or what I'm going to go is I'm going to go all distance all and hit OK. Now that is a completed part 1 of your finger joint. The second part obviously is going to look like this one, with this section here still in there. So that is part 1 completed. Well done, legends. Okay, so for part 2 of the finger joint, we obviously need to create a new block of timber. So we need to create a new part file. So to do that, same as before, we go File and New. And we're going to go standard millimeters again and create. All right. Now, once we're in here, same as before, go Start 2D Sketch. And we're going to select the XZ plane. And we're going to draw on our origin again, remembering that this yellow dot is our origin. So same as before, select your rectangle tool, hit the origin, drag your mouse down here. Now this doesn't have to be exact because we're going to dimension it in a second anyway. Select dimension tool. Now select the vertical line and we're going to change this to 70 mil. Alright, because we want this piece to be exactly the same as the other piece that we were just doing. Now if we select our horizontal line and we're going to select up here, and we're going to change that to 150 mil. So we've got a square like we've got for our other piece. So exactly the same as the last piece, we're going to go finish sketch. And if you guys remember, we're going to go extrude. And this, we're using 19 mil material, so go 19 mil. And you're going to go, okay, and we've got our block. So our other piece looks like this. So we need to cut these notches here out this time. So we need a piece that looks like this one here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to select this face here. So click on the top face and hit this one here and you're going to go create sketch. And basically we're going to do what we did before, but instead of taking the middle section out, we're going to take these 2 notches here out. So like before, rectangle tool. And we're going to sketch our rectangles in. Oh, what's going on? So roughly sketch them in and then we can dimension them. So click. And we're going to do the same on this point over here. Try and keep your lines in line with the other sketch, or this rectangle here. So we've got our 2 rectangles in, now we need to dimension them. So if you guys remember from the last part we did, this one is going to be 23.33 recurring, but we can dimension this, so click, and we can go 70 dash divide by 3, enter, and that's going to be 23.33, perfect. And we're going to make this one here the same as well, which is 23.33, perfect. Oh no. So if we go 70 divide by 3, enter, and that gives us 23.33 recurring. Now, we need to dimension, obviously, the thickness from this point to there, and that was, we probably want a little bit of wriggle room, so we're going to go from that point to this line, and we're going to make this 19.5. And that, we'll just make sure those line up, which they do. You guys, if you didn't get those lines drawn on the same point, you might need to dimension this one as well. So we'll just make sure that these are the same.
and they are, so I'm getting an error, so I did draw that in the right spot. So